What is up, guys? Dzeeff here, and today we are looking at some more OCG card reveals. These cards are out of Dawn of Majesty. We have a new Aqua Madoor retrain and some pretty cool Gemini support. Now, I am a big fan of Aqua Madoor, and sort of recently we made a video on Chemicritters, so needless to say, I was pretty surprised when I saw these two new cards. First up, we have Glacial Aqua Madoor, a level 6 water spellcaster effect monster with 1200 attack and 3000 offense. I believe those are the exact same stats as Neo Aqua Madoor from a while ago. At the start of the damage step, when your normal monster battles an opponent's monster, you can reveal this card from your hand, discard one card, and if you do, your battling monster cannot be destroyed by this battle. At the start of the damage step, when this card battles an opponent's monster, you can reveal one normal monster from your hand, discard one card, and if you do, destroy that opponent's monster. So when I first read this card, I really was thinking about what could you possibly play this in, and I'm not sure if there's a great answer. You could, I guess, play it in a Phantasm Spiral deck that is going to have some normal monsters, but do you really want to? I don't really think so. I don't think that this card really has a deck it wants to go in at this point. One of the issues is that the effects are not that great. I mean, the first effect, why does it not also destroy that opponent's monster? With the second effect, why do you have to discard a card? Why can't you just reveal a normal monster? This thing seems like it has so many restrictions for pretty much no reason, because I'm pretty sure that if it didn't have those restrictions that I just mentioned, it probably would still not be that great. The first effect would have to destroy the opponent's monster to even be considered a decent effect, and the second effect would be a lot better if it didn't require you to discard. But even if you changed those things on this card, would anyone really play it? I don't really know. I don't think the answer is yes. Glacial Aqua Madoor is yet another retrain of an older card that, while it is a decent card compared to the originals, it doesn't make enough of a difference to actually get people to want to play it. It reminds me a lot of that Breaker the Magical Warrior retrain back in Duelist Alliance, and recently that Light of the Heavens retrain of that older card that boosts attack based on equip spells. So we keep seeing these retrains of older monsters, and I like seeing retrains of older cards, but if they're not good enough to see play, then the retrain really did nothing. I think that Konami could do a lot more with these older card retrains when they just do like one individual retrain of an older card, because I think people would like to play with an Aqua Madoor retrain that's actually good, but the effects would have to be a lot better than the effects on this card. Still, it is cool that Konami continues to do this. Personally, I just wish the cards were a little better. But the card that got me really excited was this new normal spell that supports Gemini monsters and Chemicritters. Now, you might be wondering why I'm saying Gemini monsters and Chemicritters, because obviously Catalyst Field and Chemicritters go together, but one of the things I've talked about in the past is that Catalyst Field, while it is part of the Chemicritter archetype, it's also just a great generic piece of Gemini support. So while this card does make the most amount of sense in a Chemicritter deck, I think you realistically could play it in a variety of Gemini strategies. Not that there's that many of those around, but anyway, let's take a look at what it does. Activate one of these effects. Add one Catalyst Field from your deck to your hand, or add one Burnout and one Chemicritter monster from your deck to your hand. You can banish this card from your graveyard, then target two face-up monsters you control, including a Gemini monster that has gained its effects. Until the end of this turn, make the attack of one of those targets 0 and the other monster gain attack equal to the original attack of the other monster. So the second effect isn't as relevant. The main reason you would play this card is for that searching ability. Let's just say that searching Catalyst Field is great. Having 3 more copies of that card would certainly make a difference in any Gemini deck. That is one of the best cards. It is pretty much the one card that makes the entire Chemicritter archetype even worth considering, because without Catalyst Field available, you really don't have that many great combos. With Catalyst Field on the board though, suddenly your deck becomes a lot better, and having 3 extra copies of it will certainly make a difference. But what about the other search choice? So you could search that Catalyst field, or you could add a Chemicritter monster and a Burnout to your hand. Now I do want to mention, I think there was a mistranslation. I do believe it is supposed to be Burnout as in one word, as in the Chemicritter trap card. So we're just going to assume for now that is what this card searches. Now Burnout is not really that good of card. If you're wondering how they can print this card that adds 2 cards to your hand without any drawbacks, it's because Burnout is not very strong, and the Chemicritter archetype obviously does need a lot of help. Now one problem here with the second ability is that you do have to add each card. You have to have a Burnout and you have to have a Chemicritter monster in your deck to add both of them. It's not one or the other, or up to one of each. So that means that if you only play like 1 copy of Burnout and you happen to draw it alongside this new card, you no longer can search that Chemicritter monster. Now, is this a big deal? Not necessarily, because honestly, I'm pretty sure most of the time that you use this card, you want to search that Catalyst field, because that card is way harder to find than just drawing any Chemicritter monster. Most of the Chemicritter monsters that you would want to play in your deck are pretty good as long as you have access to that Catalyst field. So unless your hand has pretty much no Chemicritter monsters, you are almost always going to want to search the Catalyst field instead of doing the second search effect. What about that attack boosting effect? Could it matter? I guess, but I don't think that effect is that relevant. It is just a bonus on top of an already good searching normal spell, and that's perfectly fine. We've seen this before on cards like Salamangreat Circle. Obviously, most of the time you are using that card to search a Salamangreat, but you can also protect a monster from monster effects if you really want to. Now, is that going to come up that often? I mean, not really. I think I've only used that effect of Circle like twice in my entire life, but just like in the case of this card, you know, if it comes up once or twice, that's good enough. I mean, it's a bonus ability that they didn't have to put on the card, and if it comes up, it comes up, and you don't need to necessarily do that effect very often, but it could be game winning in the right situation. Maybe you draw this card in the late game and you want to attack over a big monster and you don't need the field spell or Burnout or a Chemicritter monster. Well, in that case, maybe you really want this attack boosting effect, and at least they did put it on there as a bonus ability just to give you extra options on an already good searcher spell. That is pretty much all for today's video though. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know in the comment section below how you feel about these 2 new cards and Dawn of Majesty just in general. We've gotten several reveals from this set so far. This is 2 core sets away for the TCG. We still have Lightning Overdrive, obviously. In my opinion, the set has looked pretty cool so far, so I can't wait to see what the other reveals are over the coming weeks. I'll see you later. Thanks so much for watching today's video. Goodbye.